We are back. Another episode of Path 7, just figuring this thing out. Oh shit, it's a little chipmunk. Um at this part in the journey, there are new weapons that they're using. Right now we are a little bit higher in our broadcast than we usually are, so it's like we need to gain new perspective on what the program is doing next or what we're going to do to combat these situations. I would say the new test now isn't about just doing it as self. It's about finding the others that are on this frequency and finding ways to inform who we are and how we are going to make the change that we are constantly seeking. So, as in saying that, it's about getting perspective on the life that's being projected to us, because we are now in a different place than we have been. So it's interesting because now we've done the training to know who we are, so now we have to do the work of sharpening the next level of the genjutsu. So it's tough, man. It's like, now that we are here, it's like now we have to. I have not gone to the gym today, so that's kind of put me in like a very spacey kind of situation. And this is the new cancer season, so it's like, as a whole, we're going into like a deep shell, and we gotta like clean out everything. And like I said, there's so many different levels of going from the group thinking the gang stalking to where we are now, and that's really just like knowing that it's really self versus self, but inside of self versus self creates a lot of different narratives of, like, I'm actually like going against my programming, because usually on days like this I would just work out hard as fuck. So like I'm doing the other work as the, not as the sage, but the one trying to like actually create the path while others are walking the path. So it's something, man. It's interesting, but as who we are, we have to find ways to keep adapting to a reality that is constantly like giving us, to say ultimatums will be wrong, but to giving us at this point, it's always giving us a sink or swim kind of perspective, but something like what can I call this? Because now it's just like a collective going against what we thought we were beating, but it's just like, it's this thing of healing is just something where it's just more and more levels of uncoding DNA and uncoding like certain things inside. And like I wanted to change my perspective, because just as an untrained mind, I need to like focus on what's in front of me instead of what's being projected to me, because living with individuals, or an individual who has their consciousness uploaded into the hive mind, is hard to actually create from a sense of what is the word I want to use? Create from a sense of originality, because everything that's around us, very few things are original right now. And if it's not original, all it is here is carbon copies. So knowing that all we have is carbon copies, it's like, how many times do they retrain us on their level of living versus us, the individuals, having our own perspective and being respected for it and such, like, because now the battle is us against not them, but us against not group thing. That's not the word. Now it's actually like a thought police or a thought authority that's like actually like attacking Aquarius, is because they know Aquarius is more like the Wi-Fi of the reality And just like going against fixed signs because they're fixating on the things they want. So if they can constantly keep you in the parts of questioning yourself of what you want and who you are, then they can get you to places where you'll never understand where you're going and where you've been. So it's like, how do I constantly recreate who I am while at the same time not being killed by people who are trying to force me to be what they want me to become, and mad because I don't create ultimatums for others who are trying to follow me and keep up with me. And consequently, I do things to push away the people who do need my help because I'm at a place of I can't teach you how to be you. You can only see your own path. So it's like if you can't see your path, you shouldn't be able to see me because you should be looking in the mirror and constantly seeing yourself. You shouldn't be seeing me. So as in saying that, sometimes you have to become a faceless sensation to a reality. You can't allow reality to so much as focus on your face so much and they're looking for an entity to save them, but rather giving them perspective of being nothing, being water, being able to adapt to any situation. Because the more I put these videos just on just focusing on my face, you'll focus on my face and not the message of what I'm saying and the things that I'm speaking upon from my life so other people won't have to have such a hard life. Because it's not that my life is hard, but because of me as an Aquarius, there's so many people that need me and my essence instead of understanding that there's nothing outside of self other than self. So as in saying that, we need to find situations that help us grow that aren't giving us ultimatums to a world that I keep saying is dying. Not my perspective of the world is dying, but the old gatekeepers that are keeping us ensnared in this illusion instead of allowing us just to have our own rules within the illusion, which is the ultimate, not genjutsu, but the ultimate, like, it's ultimate mind fuck. Because yes, rules are needed. Rules are definitely needed to give structure, but if you're not going to give people the same let off the leash to help people grow, you're only like controlling the fishbowl or controlling the box that you are allowing others to grow from instead of like just being wholly out of the box. And it's like you're going to turn yourself into a being that can't get to the ranges and to hit the levels that you're trying to reach upon. So it's like you have to know that I have done enough for you in reality to the point where you should be able to be free and feel free wherever without needing my hand always like constantly guiding you. Because every time you look for my hand to like constantly grab or save or do anything to keep you from like this limitless feeling of being alone everywhere, then you'll constantly fixate on the emotion of being alone instead of understanding that you do have guides and people that's helping you to get to where you're trying to go to. So it's more of like you're becoming more of an archetype of a person rather than what the soul actually wants you to be, and that's not fluid, but able to adapt in any situation, being mutable instead of fixating on reality and realities that are projected upon you. So it's so much of you need to not you don't need to do anything because everything is a want. Everything you do have free will, but that free will right now is being created with boundaries that have limited outcomes that don't allow you to truly tap into your divine essence and who you should be. So it's like I'll give you freedom, but this freedom is only going to be allowed within a certain box of what I think will help you grow instead of saying like my life is limitless and I need all perspectives of a bad situation to grow. So when I'm in a good situation, I'm not fighting it and I'm not allowing it to ensnare me like a baby in a womb. So it's like everybody wants this pod, this safe space to live in, but no one wants to like free themselves from the pod to truly be free. So It's not that we don't allow ourselves to be free, but it's more of the box stopping itself from truly breaking out of the box. So it's more of like, how much can you keep transmuting and allowing things to let go, then you'll be able to truly step into the essence of what you should be and what you are. So, as I'm saying, with these transmissions, please be free to be who you are, and just understand that everything that's given to you is given to you from a perspective in which it's not given to you in whole. It's like giving you limited growth, and within that growth, this it's giving you not really the perspective on how to be free, but how to be free within somebody else's boundaries. And with boundaries should definitely be respected, but at the same time, with those respected boundaries, there comes a space and a need for respecting. Not it's like I appreciate your experience, but I don't appreciate you overstepping into like trying to throw me into my fears that are just projections of your own fears. Because if you allow me to live as freely as I'm supposed to be, you'll never have to worry about me, because I'm living in my perspective of what your fears are, and in which things that I've already overcome. So like it's very it's very interesting, in which noticing that there is so much vastness in reality that we are experiencing, that we're not allowing ourselves to truly dive in. It's like an ocean is in front of you, but you're choosing the pond because the pond is what you're deeming to be safe. And it's like, no matter where you go, the same matrices or the same tendencies are always going to be in front of you, testing you. But it's just like, at what point do you stop? Like, because even with myself, like this whole like kicking around someone's third eye, or kicking around someone's ability to understand themselves, to like truly delegate themselves without outside interference, because other people have not learned how to breathe. So it's more of you doing like, you being an entire body for an entire universe, instead of that universe like dealing with the past of what it has done to people as a whole. Because when the bondage of slavery was thrown off and outcast, then there became bigger boundaries and bigger chains that were unseen, which are etheric cords, the implants, which seem like they're targeting certain like personifications of people, instead of it being more of just appreciating the things you do have. Because what is the proper term for saying it? It's more of like, because certain excuse me, I have to like just breathe just to. It's because our breath, our life force is expanding. And while some spirits are getting bigger, other ones are getting smaller. So we're being called into places of learning how to not feed on other souls and spirits, but learning how to heal them and release them at the same time. Because if you're learning, there's a certain group of people who are guilting you for learning how to eat other spirits, where other people should understand that you still need food within your fast. So you can fast on food, but you have to fast on spirits too, because bigger spirits who are already over souls, as in saying, as somebody like myself, I need to be in a bigger city, because like if I get to a certain size within a small city, it's almost like I'm going to be feasting on souls instead of like that exchange being given back 100%. And like when I say feeding on souls, it's just I'm going to absorb like weaker vessels, and those vessels are going to get comfortable living within my space instead of creating their own space that is big enough for their own universe to be sprouted out. So this is where, on a day-to-day basis, we get to a place where an ultimatum is going to be given to you for you to go further within your lower chakras and your fears. And what we're seeing now is just the more and more the endless attack on beings who see past this realm of reality, and constantly what's the word I want to use? And constantly being forced to what's the word I want to use? Being given the perspective of, and this is what I mean by the game I mean we're playing. Like it's more of like, because most people are walking like in a way of like